Today, you'll witness the undeniable mastery of the 20 greatest films of the 21st century. These monumental works have redefined cinema, pushing boundaries of storytelling, visual innovation, and emotional resonance that will echo throughout film history. Each frame, each performance, each directorial choice represents the pinnacle of cinematic achievement in our modern era. Silence your phones and grab your popcorn. Film Gorilla presents. At number 20, Park Chan-wook's visceral revenge thriller, Oldboy, revolutionized South Korean cinema on the global stage. The film's hallway fight sequence, captured in a single unbroken take, remains one of the most technically impressive combat scenes ever filmed. Choi Min-sik's raw, animalistic performance as Oh Dae-soo, a man imprisoned for 15 years without explanation, radiates desperation and fury in every frame. Park's meticulous framing and bold color palette create a visual nightmare that mirrors the protagonist's psychological torment. More than mere shock value, Oldboy dissects the corrosive nature of vengeance and the inescapable shadow of guilt, earning its place as the defining film of South Korea's cinematic renaissance.
What are we shooting at? I don't know! Fuck, the time just gone.
Number 19 brings us Kathryn Bigelow's The Hurt Locker, the tension-soaked war film that made history as the first Best Picture Oscar winner directed by a woman. Bigelow's documentary-like approach to filming, using handheld cameras and multiple angles, creates an unnerving sense of immediacy that puts viewers directly into the sand-swept danger zones of Iraq. Jeremy Renner's portrayal of Staff Sergeant William James, an adrenaline-addicted bomb disposal expert, reveals the psychological toll of combat through subtle gestures rather than grandstanding monologues. The film's sound design deserves special recognition, with each creak of metal and shift of sand amplifying the constant threat of explosion. More than a conventional war film, The Hurt Locker examines the addictive nature of danger and the alienation soldiers face upon returning to civilian life. It earns its place for redefining the war genre for a post-9/11 world. At number 18, the Coen brothers' No Country for Old Men delivers a masterclass in sustained tension and existential dread. This neo-Western thriller uses sparse dialogue and haunting sound design, with sequences propelled by footsteps, creaking floorboards, and the hiss of a captive bolt pistol. Roger Deakins' cinematography captures the desolate Texan landscape in stark, natural light, contrasting its beauty with brutal violence. Javier Bardem's Anton Chigurh emerges as one of cinema's most chilling villains, a philosophical force of fate and chaos uttering the unforgettable. Call it, Friendo. The film's unsettling ending rejects a typical cathartic payoff, offering instead a meditation on violence, morality, and time. No Country for Old Men earns its place for its formal rigor and thematic weight, echoing Sheriff Bell's reflection on the rising tide of violence no lawman can hold back. Number 17 takes us to the favelas of Rio with City of God, Fernando Meirelles and Keisha Lund's kinetic chronicle of organized crime in Brazil's urban slums. The film's innovative visual style, quick cuts, saturated colors, and breathless camera movement creates a frenetic energy that mirrors the chaotic violence of its setting. What sets City of God apart is its use of largely non-professional actors from the actual favelas, bringing authenticity to characters like the ambitious Rocket and the psychopathic Lil Zay. Cesar Charlon's cinematography shifts from golden nostalgia in earlier decades to harsh, desaturated tones as violence escalates, visually charting the community's moral degradation. Beyond its bravura filmmaking, City of God forces viewers to confront the societal abandonment that creates cycles of poverty and crime. It earns its place for revolutionizing Latin American cinema while delivering an unflinching portrait of systemic inequality. At number 16, Mitchell Gondry's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind reimagines the romantic drama through the lens of science fiction. The film's visual ingenuity, achieved largely through in-camera effects rather than CGI, creates a dreamlike landscape where memories literally collapse and dissolve around the characters. Jim Carrey delivers his finest dramatic performance as Joel, revealing vulnerability beneath his familiar mannerisms, while Kate Winslet's blue-haired Clementine defies the manic pixie dream girl trope with genuine complexity. Charlie Kaufman's screenplay brilliantly structures the narrative in reverse, allowing viewers to experience the relationship's disintegration before witnessing its beautiful beginnings. Ellen Kuraz's cinematography, with its handheld intimacy and manipulated lighting, captures the subjective experience of memory itself. Eternal Sunshine earns its place for using high-concept science fiction to reveal profound truths about love, that it's the painful memories as much as the joyful ones that make relationships worth preserving. Number 15 brings us Guillermo del Toro's dark fairy tale Pan's Labyrinth, where fantasy serves as both escape from and mirror to historical atrocity. Del Toro's meticulous production design creates two equally detailed worlds, the brutal reality of Francoist Spain and the mysterious subterranean realm of the Faun. The film's practical effects and creature design, particularly the horrifying pale man with eyes in his palms, create monsters more convincing and disturbing than any CGI creation. Ivana Baquero's performance as Ophelia navigates between childlike wonder and precocious courage, while Sergi Lopez embodies fascism's casual cruelty as Captain Vidal. Javier Navarrete's lullaby-inspired score weaves throughout, connecting the parallel narratives of resistance against tyranny. What elevates Pan's Labyrinth beyond mere fantasy is its refusal to provide easy escape. Magic exists alongside brutality, not as an alternative to it. The film earns its place for reinvigorating the fantasy genre with adult complexity and political resonance. At number 14, Sofia Coppola's Lost in Translation captures the ephemeral connection between two souls adrift in Tokyo's alien landscape. Coppola's direction embraces negative space and silence, allowing the neon-lit metropolis to become a character itself. Bill Murray delivers a career-defining performance as Bob Harris, conveying existential crisis through subtle adjustments to his deadpan persona, while Scarlett Johansson projects intelligence beyond her years. The cinematography, often shooting through barriers, visualizes the protagonist's isolation. The film's sound design juxtaposes hushed conversations with Tokyo's cacophony. What makes the film extraordinary is its undefined central relationship, neither fully romantic nor merely platonic. It earns its place for creating a new vocabulary of cinematic intimacy, proving that what remains unspoken can resonate more deeply than any declaration.
The ring has awoken. Sauron needs only the...
Number 13 brings us Peter Jackson's The Lord of the Rings. The Fellowship of the Ring, the film that proved fantasy epics could achieve both popular appeal and artistic legitimacy. Jackson's visionary translation of Tolkien's world combines massive-scale practical effects with pioneering digital techniques to create Middle-earth's impossible geography. The film's groundbreaking motion capture work with Andy Serkis's Gollum fundamentally changed how digital characters could convey human emotion. Andrew Lesnie's cinematography sweeps from the pastoral warmth of the Shire to the oppressive shadows of Moria with breathtaking scope. Howard Shore's orchestral score, incorporating leitmotifs for each culture and character, ranks among cinema's greatest musical achievements. Beyond its technical innovations, Fellowship succeeds through its emotional core, a story of friendship and sacrifice against overwhelming evil. It earns its place for revitalizing the fantasy genre, while demonstrating that commercial spectacle and artistic integrity need not be mutually exclusive. At number 12, Céline Sciamma's Portrait of a Lady on Fire reimagines the period romance through a distinctly female gaze. Sciamma's direction eschews traditional costume drama aesthetics for compositions that recall the paintings of the era, with each frame meticulously constructed like a canvas. The film's restrained use of music, absent until crucial emotional climaxes, creates a sensory focus on sounds of crashing waves, crackling fires, and rustling fabric that heighten the tactile intimacy between the characters. Claire Mathon's cinematography, often lit only by natural candlelight or firelight, gives the film a golden warmth that contrasts with the wild blue seascapes surrounding the isolated mansion. Portrait earns its place for its radical approach to depicting desire, not through male-coded voyeurism, but through a reciprocal gaze that acknowledges both viewer and viewed as active participants in the creation of beauty. Number 11, Alfonso Cuarón's Children of Men, presents a dystopian future rendered with documentary-like immediacy. The film's extended single-take sequences, particularly the car ambush and war zone finale, represent technical achievements that immerse viewers in the chaos without the safety of editorial distance. Emmanuel Lubezki's cinematography employs desaturated colors and handheld urgency to create a world that feels disturbingly plausible, despite its science fiction premise. What elevates Children of Men beyond conventional dystopian narratives is its refusal to explain its central premise, global infertility, focusing instead on how society fractures when confronted with its own extinction. The film earns its place for its prophetic vision of refugee crises, surveillance states, and environmental collapse that has only grown more relevant since its release.
Sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
At 10, Jordan Peele's Get Out revitalized horror by exploring racial anxiety through classic genre elements. Peele masterfully balances terror with social satire, creating the iconic sunken place as a powerful metaphor for racial erasure. Daniel Kaluuya's restrained performance, Michael Abel's remixed spiritual score, and Toby Oliver's isolating cinematography all reinforce the film's themes. Get Out transforms microaggressions into literal horrors, proving genre cinema's power to confront societal fears. At number 9, Wong Kar-wai's In the Mood for Love elevates unfulfilled romance to hypnotic visual poetry. Wong and cinematographer Christopher Doyle transform 1960s Hong Kong into a labyrinth that both connects and separates the central characters. The film's deliberate pacing creates a temporal suspension mirroring the protagonist's emotional limbo. Maggie Cheung and Tony Leung communicate volumes through glances and gestures, their restrained performances conveying desire more powerfully than explicit declarations. Yumabdashi's recurring waltz theme pulls viewers into the film's sensual atmosphere, while Cheung's rotating cheongsam dresses mark time while maintaining visual continuity. In the Mood for Love earns its place for redefining cinematic romance through exquisite restraint, proving that what remains unattained can resonate more powerfully than what is possessed.
Always do, man.
At number 8, Barry Jenkins' Moonlight revolutionizes the coming-of-age narrative through its triptych structure and visual lyricism. Jenkins' direction transforms Miami's Liberty City into a landscape of contradictory beauty and danger. James Laxton's cinematography employs bold color saturation and fluid camera movement, reflecting protagonist Chiron's evolving self-perception. The film's three-part structure creates a fractured portrait of identity formation that defies conventional linear development. The performances across all three actors playing Chiron maintain remarkable consistency while showing distinct evolution. Nicholas Bridle's score incorporates chopped and screwed techniques, creating a classical urban fusion. Moonlight's most devastating scene delivers emotional catharsis through whispered confession rather than dramatic confrontation. The film earns its place for its revolutionary representation of Black masculinity and queer identity, proving that specific, personal storytelling can achieve universal resonance. At number 7, George Miller's Mad Max. Fury Road reinvents action cinema through its relentless forward momentum and visual storytelling. Miller employs practical stunts and real vehicles to create set pieces of unprecedented scale and tangible danger. The film's post-apocalyptic design creates a fully realized world where even the smallest prop reveals character and societal structure. John Seale's cinematography, with its supersaturated oranges for day scenes and ethereal blues for night sequences, creates a hallucinatory wasteland that's both beautiful and terrifying. Charlize Theron's Imperator Furiosa redefines the action heroine through stoic determination rather than sexualized combat. The film's editing maintains perfect spatial clarity despite its frenetic pace. Most revolutionary is Miller's storytelling economy, conveying complex world-building through visual details rather than expository dialogue. Fury Road earns its place for proving that action cinema can achieve poetic visual expression while delivering visceral thrills, simultaneously serving as feminist parable and environmental cautionary tale.
So, 6 months academic.
At number 6, David Fincher's The Social Network transforms the founding of Facebook into a Shakespearean tale of ambition, betrayal, and loneliness. Fincher's clinical precision behind the camera finds its perfect match in Aaron Sorkin's rapid-fire dialogue, creating a film that moves with the speed and ruthlessness of the digital age it chronicles. Jeff Cronenweth's cinematography employs Fincher's trademark desaturated palette and shadow-filled compositions, giving even Harvard's hallowed halls an ominous quality that foreshadows the moral compromises to come. Jesse Eisenberg's performance as Mark Zuckerberg avoids caricature by revealing the wounded humanity beneath his character's arrogance, a socially awkward genius whose creation ironically disconnects him from genuine human connection. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross's Oscar-winning electronic score creates an atmosphere of mounting tension through minimal arrangements that build to overwhelming crescendos. The film's nonlinear structure, cutting between the creation of Facebook and the subsequent lawsuits, creates a dialectic that questions the nature of truth itself. The film earns its place for capturing a pivotal moment in technological history while exploring timeless questions of power, loyalty, and the price of success. At number 5, David Lynch's Mulholland Drive stands as cinema's greatest waking nightmare, a surrealist masterpiece that deconstructs Hollywood dreams and identity itself. Lynch's direction creates a bifurcated narrative that shifts from sun-drenched fantasy to nocturnal despair, reflecting the film's exploration of duality. Peter Deming's cinematography transforms familiar Los Angeles locations into spaces of uncanny menace, where shadow and light create psychological rather than physical landscapes. Naomi Watts delivers one of the century's most remarkable performances as Betty/Diane, transitioning from wide-eyed optimism to soul-crushing disillusionment with devastating precision. Angelo Badalamenti's score oscillates between dreamy romanticism and atonal dread, guiding viewers through the film's emotional architecture. Mulholland Drive earns its place for proving that narrative incoherence can create deeper emotional truths than conventional storytelling, offering a cinematic experience that, like a dream, communicates directly with the unconscious. As the mysterious blue box opens in the film's pivotal moment, so too does Lynch open cinema to its most primal and mysterious possibilities.
You shouldn't be here. Get out of here, now!
Mom! Dad!
At number 4, Hayao Miyazaki's Spirited Away represents animation's highest artistic achievement, a phantasmagorical coming-of-age story that defies cultural boundaries. Miyazaki's hand-drawn animation demonstrates the irreplaceable humanity of traditional techniques. The film's bathhouse setting teams with visual innovation, creating a mythology that feels simultaneously ancient and original. The protagonist's journey unfolds through subtle changes rather than expositional dialogue. Joe Hisaishi's score captures the film's balance between melancholy and wonder. Spirited Away earns its place for its profound humanism, proving animation's capacity to explore complex themes with unparalleled imaginative freedom.
I came to find you. Did you know about me?
At number 3, Paul Thomas Anderson's There Will Be Blood stands as American cinema's most uncompromising examination of capitalism and religious fervor. Anderson's direction demonstrates astonishing formal control, with extended wordless sequences. Robert Elswit's cinematography transforms California's barren landscapes into epic tableaus. Daniel Day-Lewis delivers what may be the definitive screen performance of the century as Daniel Plainview. The film's central conflict between Plainview and evangelical preacher Eli Sunday dramatizes America's fundamental tension between economic and religious power. There Will Be Blood earns its place for its uncompromising artistic vision, creating a quintessentially American epic that feels both historically specific and unsettlingly relevant.
Little fight you. I like that.
At number 2, Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight transcends its superhero origins to become a definitive post-9/11 examination of order, chaos, and moral compromise. Nolan's decision to shoot over 40 minutes of footage in IMAX format creates sequences of breathtaking visual scale. Wally Pfister's cinematography transforms Chicago into a hyperreal Gotham City that feels both iconic and unnervingly familiar. Heath Ledger's posthumous Oscar-winning performance as the Joker redefines screen villainy through anarchic unpredictability. The film's narrative complexity elevated superhero storytelling to a level of ethical sophistication previously reserved for prestige drama. The Dark Knight earns its place for revolutionizing what commercial entertainment could accomplish, proving that a film with mainstream appeal could simultaneously function as profound social commentary.
우리 다송이는 완전 예술가.
At number 1, Bong Joon-ho's Parasite stands as the defining cinematic achievement of the 21st century, a perfect synthesis of entertainment and social critique that shattered cultural barriers worldwide. Bong's masterful control of tone creates seamless transitions between comedy, thriller, and tragedy. Hong Kayong-pyo's cinematography creates visual poetry from the contrast between the semi-basement home of the Kim family and the architectural perfection of the park residence. The ensemble cast delivers performances of remarkable nuance, particularly Song Kang-ho as Kim Kai-teek. The film's most unforgettable sequence, the Kim's frantic descent from luxury to squalor during a rainstorm, visualizes the central thesis about inequality with devastating clarity. What makes Parasite extraordinary is its universal resonance despite cultural specificity, proving that the economic anxieties it addresses transcend national boundaries. Parasite earns its place for achieving what seemed impossible, a film that satisfies both as entertainment and profound social commentary while remaining defiantly rooted in Korean culture. These 20 films represent the pinnacle of 21st century cinema. If you enjoyed this list, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Which films would make your personal top 20? See you next time on Film Gorilla.